How to ride the waves of the modeling industry. First, what kind of waves are there? There are waves of work. So, work can come and be crazy, and you're working 7, 8, 9 jobs in 1 week, or you could have no jobs and only one casting. So, what can affect those waves of work? The outside effects are the market changes, the fashion seasons, the political climate, natural disasters, and economic changes. All of these things heavily affect how much money is in the industry being spent on marketing and thus being spent on models. On your end, booking out can affect whether or not you work. If you book out correctly and when you need to, if you're booking out too much, you're not going to have that much work. Putting in 100% all of the time. So if you are taking care of your hair, your skin, your nails, you're always looking camera ready, you more likely are going to get more work. If you are slacking and you don't take care of those things and you think, well, I'll take care of it the night before a booking, your agents will take notice of that and they won't submit you as much because you're not camera ready. If you are matching your book or not, if you don't match your book, that is going to make it more difficult for you to get bookings. If you're searchable on Google, this is going to allow clients to be able to find you even when they have forgotten what agency you are at or you've switched agencies. And if you are setting yourself up for success. So we learned about that in Clean Up Your Life. You have to take care of every aspect of your life if you want to be a successful freelancer, an independent contractor. Whether you have an agency or not, you are doing 90% of the work. You are showing up, you are keeping your life organized, you know where your nude underwear is, and you know where all of your stuff is or isn't, and whether or not you're ready, whether or not you're going to make it to jobs on time, whether or not you look confident when you get there. That is all up to you and setting yourself up for success by creating systems that allow you to make it on time and all the alarms you need, whatever works specifically for you and your goals and your desires and your brain and your energy and your money. So, utilizing a daily planner and brain dump will really help you when it comes to castings and jobs. Every single day, you're going to be doing different things. You're almost always going to new and unfamiliar places, or maybe you went there once 3 months ago among the 70 other places that you went. So, having a daily planner and brain dumping everything will help you to not forget anything, to not miss anything, casting wise or job wise. I suggest planning the night before because in modeling, you typically don't find out until a few days before what you're doing. And a lot of times you get the confirmation at about 7 p.m. the night before the job. You want to start with all your modeling stuff when filling out a daily planner and then add in everything else and be flexible. Modeling is a very uncertain industry. Sometimes castings take 5 minutes, sometimes they take half an hour, sometimes the wait is half an hour, sometimes the wait is 2 seconds. So be flexible with your timing and your planning. And that's why you brain dump is so you have everything written down there and you can check it off as you do it. And if your day fills up with all your castings and you weren't able to get those things done, you still have a list of them. And with that daily planner, you can get as detailed as you want or as simple as works for you, doing half hour or by the hour, doing all 24 hours of the day or just the hours you're awake, having lots of decorations and colors and fun pins if that makes you happy, or keep it super minimal. And you could do this digitally or write it out in a planner, print out a piece of paper, or even the printouts that I have provided for you in the resources. When I say setting yourself up for success, I mean lots of things, including learning how to multitask, not in a crazy way, but in a way that works best for you and allows you to get more things done. I like to think of multitasking like when I'm going to castings on the way home, I will multitask and plan out which errands I can run on the way home. If I'm going to go to CVS, if I'm going to go to Trader Joe's, this way, I am saving money on gas. I'm saving another trip, and I can get everything done on the way home. So that's what I think of when I think of multitasking. But whatever way it works in your life, having checklists to avoid missing anything, like when packing a model bag, when going to the agency, when trying to figure out what you're doing this week, checklists can be very helpful and visual. For those of you who do well with visuals, meal prepping can really help you to make sure that you are always eating healthy and that you have enough to eat. Eating is very important in modeling. I know some agents will encourage you to have eating disorders. Please leave them. They are evil. Leave them. You do not need to have an eating disorder to be beautiful or to work in this industry. It is a bunch of fucking bullshit. And meal prepping can help to combat some of that as well. So that way it's already there and ready for you to eat. And it can save you a lot of money. It can save you a lot of time. Having multiple alarms, again, in modeling, everything is a case by case basis. So you may not need multiple alarms, but a lot of you are going to have random call times. One day it's 5 a.m., the next day it's 11 a.m., the next day it's 5 p.m., then you're back to 5 a.m. So having multiple alarms can really help because your body is not used to your schedule because your schedule is not predictable. Using laundry services can help to make sure that you have clean clothes for your castings and jobs and that you always look great. And they can actually be quite affordable. You just got to look around and find a local laundromat that does a cheap wash and fold. Cards and vouchers, you should always have them, always know where they are, always keep track of how many you have left, and go get more or print more or get them from the agency if you have one. When you're down to about 10, you will want to have extra nude underwear. This can keep you from having to worry when going to a last minute job or when you've had a really crazy week or during fashion month. Having a lot of nude underwear will keep you from having to run out. Also, having power banks and extra chargers for your phone and your book if you have a digital book. Surround yourself with support. You need people who support you and believe in you. If your friends and family make fun of you or put you down, they are not good friends and family. I don't care how nice they are to you other times. Making fun of you and putting you down is not something the people who support you should be doing. So surround yourself with the people who do support you and believe in you. It is going to make a big difference, especially when there is going to be times in your career where you go to 5 castings and you book 0. Sometimes you're just not the right fit. And if you have people around you who make you feel bad about yourself, you're going to suddenly feel that you're not good enough. You're going to suddenly gain eating disorders or drug problems or get really sad and have low self-esteem or depression. If you surround yourself with supportive people, you're going to remember that it is a numbers game and sometimes you're not the right fit and it's okay. And tomorrow is another chance to try again. So you need that support. Also, empty your email box and star your reps. Emptying your email box is very essential to success. You can miss very important emails because you have thousands of unread emails and all of these spams that you don't open. It'll only take you a few hours the first time if you're really crazy like that to unsubscribe from all of those things. And it can really help you because I've known a lot of models who have missed jobs and missed out on money and pissed off their agencies and screwed up the relationship because they don't answer their emails, because they don't clean out their email boxes. And by starring your reps, you make sure that it puts them at the top, they don't go to spam, and you will see their emails. And you really want to take care of that email box. Another wave is the wave of downtime. So you work a lot, it's crazy, but then what happens when there's no work for a whole week or 2 weeks? Sometimes during the holiday season, if you're not doing e-com, there's really no work. There's no castings. Everybody's gone on vacation. Nobody's shooting anything except for e-com. There is nothing to do. You'd want to start by not dwelling. Free time is natural in the modeling industry for most models. You want to avoid overthinking and assuming that you've done anything wrong, that you're ugly, that you're fat, that you're stupid. None of those things are true. Practice your skills, live your life, and the work will pick up again. Here's a whole list of reasons you may not book it, and this isn't even the whole list. Even if the client is your favorite and they love you and they book you all the time or they put you on hold, you may not book it because the other models, maybe they're have a model who is 6'2" and you're 5'9" and it's just too drastic of a difference and they want the other model to be 6 foot. That has nothing to do with you and there's no reason to feel bad about that. Or maybe the shoot changed, it changed location, it changed date. And so now they're just not doing the shoot at all, maybe even. Maybe they pulled some clothing or shoes, or it just finally came through customs and it's not your size. Or the booking is canceled altogether. They don't have the budget. Something happened. Maybe they want someone taller or someone shorter. Maybe your beauty feels unattainable. There are clients like Neutrogena who will not hire supermodels or models they feel are too pretty because they feel that it doesn't connect with their customers. That doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It just means you should be looking at different clients. Also, maybe they dropped the rate below yours. Things changed and now they can't pay as much as they thought they could pay. And your agent is not going to let you take that lower rate. So now you're not doing the job. That's not a bad thing. And the shoot date could have got moved and you're already booked. You can't be in two places at once. Or maybe you look too much like the last model they used. They love you, but they got to use a blonde model this time and they're going to come back to your brunette self next month. Or maybe the only shoes who made it through customs are not your size. The list goes on and on and on and on of all the little things that can decide whether or not you get booked. And a lot of time it has nothing to do with you. You did nothing wrong. Do not dwell on it. Do not overthink it. Don't start attacking yourself. It's hardly ever your fault. If, however, you are showing up late, you look like you rolled out of bed, you don't have your book or cards, that might be a you thing, and you just need to get your life together and set up systems of success and get people who support you and find ways that you can support yourself to make sure that you can get there on time and you can know where your cards and books are. But aside from those basics, it's not your fault. What to do with all this free time? So many things. Live your life. Enjoy it. Find happiness. Create hobbies. Watch Netflix for all I care. Like, it doesn't even have to be productive, but do things for your mental health. Do things for your physical health. Do things for your well being. You are a whole human being, and modeling is not the only aspect of your life. Sometimes it is going to be slow and you need to take advantage of this free time. No, there are so many people who have to work almost 365 days a year, and sometimes you get to have days off. So take advantage of those days off and appreciate them for the blessing that they are, and find ways to fill your time with improving other aspects of your life, enjoying other aspects of your life. Here's a whole list to get you started. Another wave in the modeling industry is the wave of payments. Money comes and money goes. Sometimes it takes a month to get paid, sometimes it takes a year. So you always want to double check everything when it comes to your payments. Whether you have an agency or not, keep your own record of every single job you do, every single booking that has money involved. Keep some type of list, write it down, use an app, use an Excel sheet, use a piece of paper, whatever you need, whatever you've got, and make sure that you are going back in maybe once a month or so and double checking with your emails and your vouchers and your agents that everything is getting recorded and everything's getting paid. So sometimes you're going to get a check for $10,000. Then the next week you get no check and you had no bookings. Then the next week you still got no checks, but you did lots of work. You drove around, you did photo shoots, you did runway shows. And then the next week you get a check for $10. And then the next week you get 500. And then you get several weeks with no checks, but you're working like crazy. And then all of a sudden you get a big fat check for $17,000. This is what real modeling looks like. Most agencies do not get you paid on time. Most agencies do not care if you can pay your bills at the end of the day. They don't care about the stress that you go through of not getting paid on a regular basis. Although some agencies in a few countries have paid me upfront and then they wait for the payment from the client, the majority of agents and agencies make you wait for the payment, and it may take weeks for you to get money. So get familiar with this, get comfortable with it. It's not fun. I don't think it's right, but it is the reality. So when you do get paid, you get, let's say, $1,000. Your agency would then take, if you had an agency, 20%, which is $200 in commission. And then let's say you had a $50 web fee on your model account. They would take that. And then you would get a check for $750. If you were on those apps, they would only take 10%. So you would have had no web fees and only $100 in commission. You would have gotten $900. If you are with an agency and you get paid $1,000, they take their 20% of $200, they take their $50 web fee, you get a $750 check, but you still need to pay taxes. You have not paid taxes yet, and the government is going to probably tax you at a 30% tax rate. It may be different based on your state or city, and if you're in a different country, this probably won't apply to you. I don't know how your taxes work. And you would need to set aside money about $300 for taxes. So really, you only made $450. And this is why I like to say all models technically make 50% of their rate. You lose 20% to commission and 30% to taxes. Now, of course, if you're at an agency that only takes 10 or a manager or an app, you're going to make a little bit more. And if you have lots of write-offs, you can pay less in taxes. But this is just a general overview I want you to understand, because a lot of models get really excited when they first start getting these big numbers on their emails and they're like, ooh, I made $1,000 today. No, you made $500 today because you got to pay commission and taxes, and you might even have to pay some fees. So kind of start thinking about every job as more of like a 50% of the rate when you're going through an agency. And of course, like I said, write-offs are going to change that. And everything in the modeling industry is a case by case basis. But in general, this is what your pay truly looks like. You don't want to spend it before you deposit it because it's not real until it's cashed. Some clients will go bankrupt. They tend to have multiple companies and they have multiple LLCs. So they'll book you through one of their LLCs they don't care about and then never pay you. And then that LLC will get shut down and go bankrupt. So even if the company still exists as a whole, they may have paid you through a subsidy and get away with going bankrupt and never paying you. And most agencies aren't going to care. They're not going to pay you. They're not going to cover it. They're just going to say, well, that sucks. And every once in a while, they might take the client to court. 99% of the time, agents are never going to take the client to court. If you take the client to court on your own, an agent may be willing to testify for you, but a lot of times they won't even want to testify for you. They don't want to get involved because long-term, the clients tell them, if you help your model sue us, we're never going to book with you again. So don't spend it before you deposit it. It's not real until it's cashed. Even if you've done the job, it's not real yet. Yes, you can also sue the client or sue the agencies for not getting paid, but that could take years. Don't spend it before you've got it in your bank. Also, side jobs to handle the waves of payments. You can do a side job, whether it is an in-person job or a virtual job. There are some things to think about when getting a side job. You want to think about your long-term goals, what you want out of modeling and your life, your happiness. How happy are you going to be at this side job? How much energy is it going to take from you? Is it going to make you miserable? And also your team, your reps, your managers, your agents, include them in the conversation as much as possible. Some agents may be able to get you a side job somewhere that works easily with a model schedule. They may have some connections or know people who are looking. So it's worth it talking to them. And then if you do get a side job, you want to talk to them again because you want to give them your schedule and make sure you book out and communicate those book outs. Because if you are missing castings or jobs for a side job, they are going to get annoyed. They're going to stop submitting you as much as they do and pushing you as much as they do and believing in you as much as they do. And eventually they might drop you. So you want to include them in that conversation to avoid those kinds of things. Some more things to keep in mind when picking out those side jobs, or try and maybe look for side jobs that could enhance your career, like acting, or maybe becoming a dance teacher, or even a dance performer, performing in some type of ballet or something, or yoga instructor, or maybe you want to be a hair and makeup artist. All of these careers can go really well with the freelance style of modeling and the scheduling. And also they can give you skills that will help you in your modeling jobs. Dance and yoga just helps you connect to your body. Being able to do your own hair and makeup can help you in the situations where you do your own hair and makeup for things like showroom or presentation. Acting can help you entirely in every aspect of your modeling. And like I said, with the schedule, something that is flexible and okay with last minute changes in case you get a last minute booking or casting that is really worth going to and canceling your shift or your day or your client or whatever. And also think about the physical toll it may take on your body, your sleep schedule, if you're going to be really exhausted, if you're going to get a lot of injuries. If you are doing something like dance and you're doing some Cirque du Soleil stuff, you might get a lot of bruises. You might get a lot of scars and things, and that could affect your modeling and that could affect your booking. So think about all of these different things when picking out different side jobs. So those are the waves of modeling. We talked about the waves of working, the waves of downtime, and the waves of payment because it all comes in waves. If you have any questions or feel I missed anything, please comment below. As always, I would love to hear if this is working for you. Please email me or share on social with the hashtag Modelesque Mindset. And as always, if you would like to book a one-on-one, the link is provided.